So it took me way too long to realize that most human beings aren't playing with a full deck, that they have no common sense, and that they do not even care what the truth is. What they want is their creature comforts and whatever feels most familiar to them, whatever, whether that is a lie or not, they will accept that lie if that is more comforting or entertaining than the truth. And so this week on my podcast After Dark, which I'll be posting on YouTube, I get into this. I get into the whole post truth society, how damaging that is, and how we have got to run away from it. And I tie that into what I like to do on Controversial Tuesdays, which is to get into conspiracy theories, tinfoil hatty stuff, the esoteric, the woo-woo, and all of that stuff. Which, for if you don't know me, you won't really realize how analytical I am. You won't really realize that I am an intuitive, and you will not have seen the years of future and predictions, possibilities, probabilities, and predictions that I've given you all. So if you're coming to that series, watch this video first, and then go back to the series, because I actually recorded that in the dark, as I do my podcast in the dark, in a state of flow, did not write it. So I get into a lot of subjects that you guys may want me to come back to, and I will come back to them. You just put a comment in whatever platform you find it on, and I'll elaborate. But what I wanted to do, and the reason why I created it, is because we as human beings cannot live in a post-truth society. We have to hold certain truths as universal, and then those truths have to be constantly critically analyzed and weighed against what we know as time goes along. And if humans are not willing to do that, humans are cooked. As I get into in the podcast, I have to remind you all that humanity's trajectory from rock to a bullet to nuclear bomb, and then the things to come, which I told you I will not be, I don't want to inspire it, so I won't be voicing in my podcast. As an intuitive, you know, if you've seen it, you know it. If you don't want it to be, don't talk about it, and see if we can avoid it, because dadgum. But your trajectory from rock to bullet to nuclear bomb is not as straight as you think. And the history that most human beings are working off of is adulterated, remixed, white supremacized kind of history that scapegoats people who shouldn't be scapegoated, demonizes people who shouldn't be demonized, and really was written by the people who won, however evil they were. Okay, so that's why I say critical analysis is important. We are gonna have to get back to get away from this being separated from our intuition. Okay, most people should be working off of pattern recognition. You should be able to do the first two rungs of prediction that I talk about. You should be able to look at a series of patterns. You should be able to look at history. You should be able to come up with a probability for what you think is about to happen based on what you just saw. Most human beings aren't doing this. And it's disturbing, because if you cannot do that and you lack that upper ability to prognosticate, to talk about what you are perceiving, whether you're hearing it or whether you are seeing it, I can do both. Humanity is cooked, and humanity is cooked to the point to where you are going to be reduced back to the people who are in a cave, who are painting with whatever they can gather, what they think is true. And I tie that in the podcast. I tie that into Plato's cave allegory, because it is such an important example that human beings are going to have to grasp in this post-truth society, that human beings what they don't realize is that this ain't the first go round of the lies, of the half-truths, and getting human beings to accept that their limited perception is all there is. right? Because go read Plato's allegory. You've got to internalize that. You know how preachers usually say you got to read it, internalize? No, that allegory, you must read it and internalize it and understand it. And you need to look out into your world and see how that is functioning, because those people are chained inside that cave. And they are looking at a wall, and they are looking at those shadows, and they are interpreting that as reality, as truth. And the problem is, as you will learn, is that that is not all there is. So on my channel, I, for a very long time, have tried to teach you that reality is just it's a lot more expansive than you think. And so you cannot stop. You cannot feel that you get to a point to where critical analysis of the things that you hold truth does not occur. That's the problem with conservatism. I told you in the series, you have to go into my YouTube folder of predictions, in which I'm wearing the black shirt and I'm sitting in my car and I'm telling you reality is a lot more expansive than you think, and that conservatives are the dinosaurs of intellectual thought and creation, and it is dangerous, and that you will be unalived because you were unwilling to go on the journey of analyzing, deconstructing, and thinking about everything that you hold as true, and then throwing out the stuff that you realize now that you have more information is just not correct. And so if you do not do that, as I said, humanity, you will be unalived, because there are things as an intuitive I know are coming that you're gonna have to have pattern recognition, as much history as you can. You're gonna need your intuition. Capitalism works to separate you from yourself, from your intuition. It teaches you to accept the lie and to believe that lies are more comfortable, that demyelination, okay? Because you keep living, y'all about to realize that being white skinned is gonna get you killed. And you don't have enough future for that. And you don't realize that what's going on right now is about to unalive a lot of minimally melanated people. And that people with melanation and who are more maximally or richly melanated are the people who are going to survive. And it is because the lies of white supremacy. But if you do not go on the journey of deconstructing what you have learned, or critically thinking about the things that you hold true, as I have laid out here before, you are going to continue on with a conservative thought process or fundamentalist thought process, and you are going to die. You're going to be allowed to hurry up and die. Mother Nature, I have taught y'all before, she does not care what religion you have or who your God is. Unless your God is about to rescue you, Mother Nature will barrel right through, and she will knock the soul out your body. And she will keep on moving. And that there are certain natural cleansing processes that are at work on your planet that you are going to fall victim to because of what's coming. If you don't wake up, realize, reconnect with yourself, your intuition. Your intuition is not evil. Okay, what you've been taught through the religious frameworks that you've been given, that you were to disconnect yourself from your intuition. It's, you know how Eve is demonized for listening to what is called a snake, instead of it being seen as intuition, and that intuition is seen as being a liar. Yeah, that's a whole other that's actually a book I have. But because of that, because of the demonization of your intuition, because of the fact you're disconnected from who you are, you've been put on the path of following time. Time is a perception filter, which keeps you just in seeing only now. 60 seconds, 60 minutes, 24 hours, 30 days, 12 months. All of that stuff is a part of systems that are keeping you blind and put you in a position as a human being to be constantly scammed. So you can go and you can watch the videos, watch the last 3. I apologize for the lack of production. I know the graphic will sometimes say, no more adrenochromes, because I'm talking about adrenochrome a lot as an example. But if you want me to summarize it further, I can, and I'll do more content, but I wanted to put this video here for you all to invite you.